she was so good in the movie that this really went through my head. I thought, man, who's she gonna date next?
He's an idiot. It's not true.
Cool.
Hi, today this video will be about Emily Blunt. Actually, Emily Olivia Laura Blunt. She was born the 23rd of October 1983 in London. Her parents were Joanna McKee, former actress and English teacher, and Oliver Blunt, a barrister. It's some kind of lawyer. Emily Blunt describes herself in her youth as shy and awkward. Interesting thing, in childhood she has a problem with stutter. It has almost disappeared in adulthood, but still in the big stress Emily Blunt begins to stutter.
I know, come with me.
I guess you all know that Emily Blunt married with another movie star, John Krasinski. They married since 2010. Here are some memories of Emily Blunt, how they met each other for the first time.
I was in a restaurant. He was in the restaurant.
Yeah.
I was sitting with a mutual friend. This is our romantic comedy. This is it.
This is
Write
it.
it.
To live in romantic comedy, it's really good. So, they were in the same restaurant in the same time. They both were sitting with their friends. So, how Emily and John got to know each other?
We were talking and discussing how much I was enjoying being single. And then she goes, "Oh my God, there's my friend John." You know.
John was with his friend. But because of Emily Blunt, he left his friend and went to Emily's table. This was their actually first date. I guess Emily Blunt loved it.
He was actually sitting with our friend Justin Thoreau. He abandoned Justin and came over to come and talk to us. He did not eat. He just stood there and made me laugh. And that was it. Yeah.
So, at that night, John Krasinski didn't eat, left his friend, but found his future wife, Emily Blunt.
And I met her, and I was so nervous, and I was like, oh God, I think I'm gonna fall in love with her. And as I shook her hand, I went, I like you. I guess she was charmed by my totally being an imbecile.
Cool.
Emily Blunt and John Krasinski got married in 2010. Wedding was in Italy, at the George Clooney's villa. John and George were very good friends. So now George Clooney is a good friend of Emily too.
George is a very good friend of ours, but he and John are very tight.
If you want to have a wedding at George Clooney's villa, you just need to have sushi with him at the restaurant and to tell him that soon you will get married. But of course, you need to know him quite well.
And he said, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And he went, you gonna get married at my house?
But even Emily and John didn't believe it from the first time. And they just continued their conversation and ate sushi.
No, we thought he was just saying that, like people just say that.
Right.
And they don't mean it. And then he asked again and we went, no, we're not gonna do that.
But they did it. This wedding was not very big by number of guests. I think really big weddings when two celebrities get married is much bigger than Emily's and John's one. In this case, in the George Clooney's Lake Como home was not so many guests.
We had 65, it was very small.
Not all of these guests could stay at the villa of Mr. Clooney.
We had some people who knew George, who were kind of, people who we'd worked with stayed at his house.
Right.
And then everyone else stayed at 2 different hotels.
Cool.
While Emily was acting in the movie Mary Poppins Returns, John very often came to visit his wife. Once, he had an amazing story at the airport. When John went through customs, he met interesting custom officer.
This guy's about my age, and he looked like he was ready to get a little surly with me. And he said, says here that you're an actor. And I said, yeah. And he said, would I know you from anything?
What do you think? What John told to custom officer?
We redid the UK version of The Office, strike one. He was like, oh, I hated that version. You took what we did perfect.
The next question was actually the standard question in such situation. And actually, maybe this officer was not movie fan. Maybe he was more about music.
Who are you visiting here? I said, my wife. And he says, is she an actress? And I said, yeah. He said, would I know her? And I don't know, man.
Here is the reaction of the custom officer on the name of John Krasinski's wife.
Her name's Emily Blunt. He goes, you? And I went, yeah. And he goes, you married Emily Blunt. And I go, yeah. And he goes like this. Okay, go.
Cool.
You know that Emily Blunt was offered the role of Black Widow in Marvel's Iron Man. But Emily turns it down because at that time she was filming in Gulliver's Travel. It was a tough situation for Emily Blunt.
I was contracted to do Gulliver's Travels. I didn't want to do Gulliver's Travels.
Sometimes it's happened, and you can do nothing in this case. Emily has a contract for Gulliver's Travel because of the role in movie Devil Wears Prada. She got role in Devil Wears Prada with her agreement to play in one more movie of the company 20th Century Fox. So she couldn't refuse to play in the movie Gulliver's Travel.
was a bit of a heartbreaker for me because I take such pride in the decisions that I make, and they mean so much to me. That was tough.
Can you imagine, with all the success of Marvel's movie and number of different movies with Black Widow, how Emily is sad now when she remembers these days with proposal of the troll? Anyway, it happened. And now we know how many pages of the script Emily Blunt has to read before she understands is it good for her or not.
I know in 20 pages if I love it, it's ethereal as to why I like it. I don't know why I like it, I just love it. And I'm in or I'm out after 20 pages.
Usually script for 90 minutes movie is about 110 pages. So she needs to read about 1/6 of the script to know is it good for her or not.
Cool.
Do you like cockroaches? Is there someone who likes it? No? Emily Blunt also not a fan of these creatures.
Cockroaches? Like I hate them, like it's like a proper issue for me.
While she was shooting one of her movies, Emily Blunt found the best place for cockroaches.
And when we were shooting Jungle Cruise, we were in Hawaii and Atlanta, which are both like cockroach havens.
Once in the morning, cockroaches went to Emily's daughter, maybe just to get to know each other.
And there was this one morning where our daughter, Hazel, she was sitting eating breakfast, and she suddenly goes, "Ooh, something just crawled on me."
John and Emily tried to calm child, told her that it is maybe just wind and nothing happened. But suddenly...
And then all of a sudden, this thing, it was that big, and it just went across the chest like that.
I guess you can imagine what started immediately after this. You can imagine how loud all the family screamed. But I just don't understand one thing. Why John screamed.
And everyone screamed. Everyone just started screaming. The baby, my nanny, me, John was like, I mean, it was just horrifying. And he flicked it off her.
I think cockroaches screamed also. But unfortunately nobody heard his voice. It was lost in the sound of shouting crowd. The cockroach just left this party and didn't want to come back.
And we tried to find it and it was gone. Where did they go? Where did they go?
Actually, it went somewhere very, very far, to the place where it will not see again Blunt family. And one more interesting and funny story about Hazel, Emily's daughter. I know a lot of you already watched it, but I cannot miss it in this video.
Hazel had my accent for a really long time and would say things like water, which I was really proud of. And then
Yes, water and water are two big differences. And you know how good Emily Blunt in imitating different accents and languages.
And then the other day she goes, "Can I have some water?"
Can you imagine to hear water for the British person? Of course, Emily tries to correct her daughter.
"It's water." And she was like, "No, it's water."
And when Emily Blunt was filming in Mary Poppins Returns, her daughter Hazel, who mostly speaks American English, asked her mother to say something as Mary Poppins. It's easy to get the reaction of the kid.
And I go, "Spit spot," and off we go. And she goes,
And one more Hazel's reaction for the Mary Poppins character.
When I was doing Mary Poppins, I'd even FaceTime my daughter and she'd be like, "Take that silly old Mary Poppins wig off. Like, I like your blonde hair." Cool.
Jungle Cruise. Did you see this movie? Yes, this is quite a kids movie, but a nice one, with budget of $200 million. So Emily Blunt was starring there with Dwayne "Rock" Johnson. Interesting how Emily Blunt begins her talk about Dwayne Johnson.
Because he's sort of, everyone knows a lot about him and he's on Instagram and all that, but you kind of don't know a lot about him at the same time.
You're not.
And here is interesting story about how Emily Blunt first time met Rock Johnson.
I know the rules of meeting a famous person or being with a famous person in a public place. I'm married to an enormous man who is very visible.
Who knows these rules will just repeat it. But if you don't know such rules, listen and write it down.
And I know the ground rules. Keep your trap shut, keep it discreet, and just blend in as much as you can.
You can know all these rules and remember it by heart. But if you are a very emotional person, in the most important moment, something can go wrong.
He walks in and I heard myself just go, "Hey!" Like
And here is how Emily Blunt feels herself when she is near Dwayne "Rock" Johnson.
I would walk next to him. People would take pictures of us kind of walking next to each other on set, and I looked like his child.
In the movie Jungle Cruise, character of Emily Blunt steals some artifact. And she was asked, did she steal something in real life?
What
I have stolen one thing. It's so lame, but I stole a packet of seeds from a garden shop once.
Emily Blunt did it in her childhood. It was long ago. Nowadays, Emily Blunt is law-abiding citizen.
No, when I was a kid, I remember going to the gardening centre with my mum, and I stole a packet of seeds because I thought the pansies looked nice.
But when her mother mentioned this in the car, young Emily had to give this package of seeds back to the shop.
I was very upset and I was very embarrassed. I felt bad. I don't know why I stole them. It was weird. I just thought they looked nice. But I did feel guilty.
Good.
Cool.
Have you heard how Emily Blunt sings? No? Maybe because she is a little bit shy to sing in front of the people. Yes, it can happen even if you are a famous actress. For her, the best place to sing is a shower.
I think it's still not a natural thing for me. I find it very nerve-wracking to sing in front of people, for sure.
But if you are a famous TV presenter, you can make celebrity at least to try to sing.
What do you want me to sing?
Sing something that we all know.
No, I just feel a bit exposed, you know what I mean? I just don't know.
What do you think? What you can do to help shy celebrity to sing? Right. To find another celebrity to help her. Or, if to be precise, 5 celebrities.
Well, what if we have the Backstreet Boys behind you?
With Backstreet Boys, I will ready to sing. You are my fire, the one desire. No, Backstreet Boys will not help me.
Now I can do it. Now I can do it.
So, Emily Blunt with Backstreet Boys, please welcome.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake.
Yes, but we want to hear how Emily Blunt sings.
'Cause I want it that way. You left me alone and you weren't. That was your part.
Okay, she sings a lot of times, but not with a big audience.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Round and around and around and around. A day makes 24 little hours.
Can't give anymore.
Cool.
Movies of Christopher Nolan are strange, complicated, mind-blowing, but great. For example, when I watched movie Tenet, I was very interested how all these features with time described on paper in the script. So, the first Emily Blunt thoughts about Christopher Nolan movie were...
I was worried I wouldn't keep up with it. You know, because his movies are so mind-bending and extraordinary. I was like, am I going to follow this?
One more impression from Emily Blunt. Director of the movie Oppenheimer is Christopher Nolan. For audition, Emily went to Nolan's house. So here is how it was.
And then he goes, right, so, you know, we're going to make this movie Oppenheimer, have you heard? So if you'd like to have a look at the role Kitty Oppenheimer, I'd love you to do it, you know?
As we remember, Emily Blunt reads 20 pages of the script to understand is it movie for her or not. I guess in this occasion she had to read it all. There was a special place in Nolan's house for reading script of Oppenheimer.
And I read it in his library, which is already makes you feel stupid.
I bet that's a nice
So
library.
many books. Yeah, just endless books.
And you know, there was one more interesting fact about the Oppenheimer script. The paper copy of the script.
It handed the script on red paper, because apparently you can't photocopy red paper.
And it means that...
He doesn't trust me.
Exactly.
Cool.
Quick questions for Emily Blunt. The most difficult question is to describe yourself.
Empathetic, funny, and mean. No. Okay, warm. Go on then, warm.
Also a question which is very popular to everybody.
I mean, I'd love to travel. I'd love to be a professional tour guide.
Best career advice you have been given.
What's yours is yours, and what's someone else's is someone else's, for reasons you don't even understand. So I guess that's the career advice, is just let it go.
Trick that you can do. Write in the comments. Can you do the same? Or maybe something different?
There was a boy in my class who used to do it.
Cool.
Emily Blunt is a British actress and her husband is an American. And she came for the exam for the United States citizenship. She passed it, but it was not an easy one. The overall expression about this test.
It is the hardest test I've ever had to take. I guarantee most Americans would have no idea how to answer any of these questions.
This test has not only questions about American history or the state law. Here is one interesting question for British actress from the officer.
Are you a habitual drunkard? And I said, well, I was last night. And my lawyer was in the room and he was like...
And one more question. Interesting. They ask only a lady about it or not?
Yeah.
Right.
Have I ever been a prostitute? Was another question.
They asked you that?
Yeah. And I
And?
said, well, I was now. I'm just cool.
Finally, how Emily Blunt feels about Oscar nomination.
Oh, what's that about?
You tell me.
Feels
Emily
lighter
Blunt.
than air. It feels so lovely.
This is all for today. I wish you all the best. Like, dislike, subscribe, do whatever you want. Thank you, have a nice day. Bye.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to SGN. I'm John Krasinski, and now...
What the heck? Em, what are you doing?
My sneaky husband, John Krasinski.
My husband, John Krasinski.
Guys! And energy! Here we go.